What if I told you the future of Africa's economy is buried in trash? That in one of the poorest nations on earth, waste isn't a crisis, it's a $20 million revolution. This isn't science fiction, this is Burkina Faso, and what they're doing with garbage might just change the world. What if I told you that garbage, the stuff we toss without a second thought, has quietly sparked a $20 million revolution in one of Africa's most overlooked nations? Welcome to Burkina Faso, where waste isn't a problem, it's an opportunity. In this eye-opening story, you'll discover how discarded plastic, rusting metal, and piles of organic refuse are fueling a new era of clean energy, job creation, and environmental resilience. This isn't your average recycling tale. It's a movement powered by grassroots, and smelly landfills and open pits is now the heartbeat of a growing industry. Every clink of a recycled can, every pile of shredded plastic, every truckload of biodegradable matter tells the story of a nation reclaiming control not just over its environment, but over its economy. Burkina Faso is flipping the script. Instead of burning or dumping its waste like many nations still do, it's turning garbage into gold, literally. Fueled by both local ingenuity and global support, the country has tapped into the massive $1.6 trillion global waste economy, and in doing so, it's created a thriving sector now worth more than $20 million and rapidly growing. Across cities and rural zones, micro-enterprises are collecting scrap door to door. Women's cooperatives are repurposing textile waste into handmade bags, crafts, and fashion pieces now selling across West Africa. Recycling hubs are springing up, converting plastic into usable materials and transforming e-waste into valuable spare parts. This isn't just a cleanup, this is economic reinvention. Every kilogram of waste that's collected, sorted, and transformed chips away at unemployment, pollution, and poverty all at once. Young entrepreneurs are spearheading tech-driven upcycling initiatives. Communities are building small composting facilities that enrich farmland. And where there was once chaos and clutter, there's now a sustainable, profitable one. This transformation didn't happen overnight. It's the product of deliberate policy reforms, community-led organization, and a national shift. In perspective, waste is no longer seen as a nuisance, but as a national asset. In Burkina Faso, the beating heart of the waste revolution isn't found in government offices or high-tech labs, it's on the ground, led by women with vision and resilience. From Bobo Dioulasso to the backstreets of Ouagadougou, women's cooperatives have stepped into leadership roles that were once unimaginable. They've built their own recycling routes, trained hundreds of others, and created products so well crafted they've made it to boutiques as far away as Abidjan and Dar es Salaam. One inspiring example, the Recycle Fee Collective. It began with just 10 women. Today, it employs over 150. These women are converting discarded plastic into backpacks, mats, and even fashionable handbags. They've turned desperation into entrepreneurship. Many are single mothers who once had no stable income. Now they're business owners, mentors, and contributors to a new, green economy. Recognizing their impact, the Burkina government and international NGOs have stepped up, offering microloans, training programs, and grants specifically for female-led green ventures. The connection is clear. Environmental progress and gender equity go hand in hand. These women aren't just changing their lives, they're reshaping the future of their country, and their influence is spreading. Today, vocational schools in Burkina Faso are updating their curricula to include waste management, circular economies, and eco-entrepreneurship, because this movement isn't just about cleaning streets, it's about rewriting who gets to lead the next chapter of national development. While the world debates climate policy and carbon markets, Burkina Faso is getting to work literally, turning trash into climate solutions. Thanks to nationwide waste reforms, the country has cut down its methane emissions significantly by minimizing landfill dependency. Over 45% of urban waste is now being either composted or recycled, and the impact is staggering. In rural provinces, organic waste is being converted into nutrient-rich compost, boosting crop yields by up to 30%. A game changer in a country that loses over 350,000 acres of farmland annually to desertification. Used motor oil and old tires aren't burned anymore, they're repurposed into biofuel that powers local transport and village mills. And at the cutting edge, university students in Ouagadougou are developing solar-powered incinerators that drastically reduce plastic volume without releasing harmful toxins, combining sustainability with science in ways that could inspire the rest of the continent. The result? A measurable victory for the planet. Burkina Faso is now slashing over 120,000 tons of CO2 emissions every year through waste-based climate solutions alone, and the world is noticing. Organizations like the World Bank, European Union, and several global climate foundations are starting to invest not just in the environmental side of things, but in the social innovation model Burkina Faso is pioneering, one where climate justice starts from the ground up and real people benefit directly. Burkina Faso's waste revolution is more than just impressive, it's instructional. While other nations are still scrambling to find climate-friendly solutions, Burkina Faso has quietly built a bottom-up model that works. It doesn't rely on billion-dollar carbon offset schemes or imported technology. It relies on local hands, smart minds, and strong hearts. It's a story of turning loss into leadership, of reclaiming power in the most unexpected of places: landfills, scrapyards, and roadside gutters. And the beauty of this model: it's replicable. Any nation willing to rethink waste, empower its people, and invest in long-term sustainability can follow suit. So the next time you throw something away, ask yourself, what if it wasn't waste? What if it was the future in disguise? Burkina Faso asked that question and answered it with action. In a world overwhelmed by waste, where plastic chokes oceans and landfills rise like toxic mountains, one nation is daring to do something radically different. Burkina Faso, a country rarely mentioned in conversations about innovation, is quietly making global headlines. And no, it's not because of oil, diamonds, or tech campuses. It's because this small West African nation has discovered a hidden superpower: trash. Yes, trash. The stuff we throw out, burn, or ignore. Burkina Faso is flipping the global script, transforming waste into wealth, jobs, and climate solutions, and the world, it's finally paying attention. When venture capitalists from Silicon Valley start funneling money into eco-startups from a landlocked African country, you know something extraordinary is unfolding. But this isn't charity, it's strategy. Burkina Faso isn't waiting for foreign aid or ready-made solutions from the West. It's crafting homegrown innovations to tackle real-world problems, starting with waste. And in doing so, it's offering scalable, sustainable, and self-driven solutions in an age where climate collapse seems inevitable. While most of the world debates emissions on paper, Burkina Faso is cutting methane in the streets, composting in villages, and recycling in cities. It's a playbook written not in boardrooms but on the front lines of environmental crisis. And that's what sets it apart. It's not just managing waste, it's reimagining it. If you think today's youth are glued to TikTok and tuned out of reality, come visit Burkina Faso. Here, the youth aren't just engaged, they're leading a green revolution. From smart recycling apps to solar-powered waste compactors, young Burkinabes are turning eco-anxiety into enterprise. Thousands of green jobs have emerged in areas like waste logistics, product innovation, tech-enabled mapping, and circular manufacturing. One shining example: Green Fasoa, youth-led startup that works like Uber, but for garbage. The app links households to local waste collectors in real time and even rewards families with grocery discounts for recycling participation. What started as a side project is now streamlining waste management in 3 major cities, and they're not alone. University graduates once desperate to leave the country are now launching eco-enterprises rooted in local needs. Vocational schools are adapting to offering courses in environmental coding, upcycling, eco-design, and biomanufacturing. In just 2 years, youth unemployment in key districts has dropped by 15%. But this is bigger than economics. This is about identity and pride. For many, managing waste isn't dirty work, it's nation building. These young minds see themselves as environmental entrepreneurs, forging a cleaner, greener, more self-reliant Burkina Faso, with 70% of the population under 30. This isn't a passing trend, it's the beginning of something permanent. Unlike temporary development programs that vanish with funding cycles, this youth-driven movement is fast, resilient, and deeply rooted in community. They're not fleeing the country. They're cleaning it up and claiming it as their own. Here's the twist no one saw coming. Burkina Faso's waste model is going international. What began as a grassroots effort to tidy up local communities has now caught the eye of the world's top sustainability thinkers. Delegations from Ghana, Niger, Senegal, and European nations have visited the country's recycling centers to study its approach. It's not about fancy equipment or massive budgets. It's about building systems that work even in low-resource environments. From decentralized recycling hubs and mobile waste collection platforms to revenue-sharing models for informal workers, Burkina Faso is proving that effective environmental solutions don't have to be expensive, they just have to be smart. And now, it's exporting more than ideas. Recycled building bricks, biodegradable packaging, fashion accessories made from textile scraps. Burkina Faso is turning trash into tradable goods. These products are reaching markets far beyond the Sahel, redefining what made in Africa can mean in the 21st century. Even regional bodies like ECOWAS are partnering with Burkina Faso to replicate its model across West Africa. It's not just a national success story, it's becoming a continental blueprint. Here's the part no one saw coming. Waste is turning into diplomatic currency. Once defined by instability, poverty, or crisis, Burkina Faso is now being recognized as a climate innovation lab. At a recent summit in Nairobi, the country was listed among the top 5 African nations leading sustainable development through waste management. And it's not just earning trade deals, it's earning respect. This new form of soft power is opening doors to green investment, climate finance, and international partnerships. Development banks, global nonprofits, and ESG investors are finally seeing what Burkinabes have known all along, that resilience plus resourcefulness equals revolution. By reimagining trash, this nation is not only changing its own destiny, it's shifting how the world sees Africa's place in solving global challenges. Let's be clear, Burkina Faso didn't wait for perfection. It started with what it had: a waste problem, willing hands, and a desire to build a better future. From that foundation, it created a $20 million powerhouse, one bag, one can, one line of code at a time. And the truth is, it's just getting started. While the rest of the world drowns in waste and waits for billion-dollar breakthroughs, Burkina Faso has built a movement from the ground up, one that's clean, profitable, youth-led, and exportable. It's not just progress, it's genius. So the next time you toss something away, remember, in Burkina Faso, that same item might be feeding a family, powering a motorbike, or becoming a building block in a new economy. If a small, often overlooked, country can turn garbage into greatness, we have to ask ourselves, what's stopping the rest of us? If you found this inspiring, smash that like button, hit subscribe for more stories of real-world innovation, and drop a comment: which other countries are flipping trash into